Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Episode 8, Alloyed. This is the season finale of The Rings of Power, and I'm going to keep this brief because otherwise I'm going to start rambling about spoilers. But let me tell you, whew, everything that has been planted throughout the season has been answered, has been brought forth. There's still a few hanging threads, but overall, wow. I mean, I think a lot of the theories I saw online were probably on the right path. Now, me not knowing the full lore, like the full lore of everything, and I know this is a little bit different because of rights and whatever. But what a what a fun way to end the season. And I mean that just because it was entertaining, it was fun to watch. I was glued to the seat for like an hour, and yeah, this I could not have asked for any more stuff. The pieces are all being laid out, and now we just have to see what happens when we go forward. Very exciting stuff. Um, Let me go through a little bit of the cast, some highlights. I will say we do not see any more of Joseph Molly as Adar. We do not see any more of Ismael Cruz Cordova as Arendir. I believe their plot line pretty much was finalized in the previous episode, but there was a lot of stuff at the end of that episode too. Um, this show, this one. I guess before I get into that, this episode was directed by Wayne Yip, written by John D. Payne and Patrick McKay, based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Um, wow, I there's just a lot happening that it's hard for me to kind of put everything together, but I will say this: I feel the show really paid off everything, which I think that's, as a fan, that's one of the bigger things. Like, don't promise things that you won't be able to deliver. I feel like the show delivered on most of everything that was set up from the beginning of the season. And like I said, I feel like now going forward, we'll have more defined teams or more defined causes, whereas in this season, everything was a little bit nebulous because every time somebody else new comes in, people and fans would be like, "Oh, is that Sauron? Is that Gandalf? Is that so and so from the future?" Because we know a lot of these beings live for a long time. So really interesting stuff. One of my favorite performances, though, continues to be Daniel Wayman as the Stranger. His character has evolved so much from the beginning when we first met him. Really, really cool stuff. There's also, we finally got an answer to who those white cloaked individuals are that are following around. They are able to wield magic, and it's a really interesting turn there. It all kind of has to do with the story with Stranger, so I'll leave it at that. But just know that I found that very interesting. Um, I really love the stuff with the Harfoots because it's all connected to the Strangers. Like, I feel like that was a good pairing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future with those characters. I think um, Michaela Kavanaugh as Nori Brandyfoot. I think she's going to be a really interesting character coming up in the future of the show. So we don't see any dwarves in this episode. I believe their storyline kind of concluded in the previous episode as well. But we do return to Numenor, and I think a power dynamic or a shift in the power dynamic is definitely in the horizon as well. So I really like that stuff. There's a lot of really good stuff. Cynthia Dye Robinson as Queen Regent Mariel and Lloyd Owen as Captain Ellendale. They're really fun characters, and I really want to see them continue to see their storylines. Even though I feel like everything that's going on at Numenor feels disconnected because it is an isolated island away from Middle Earth, but I feel like it's all going to kind of come back around in the future, just because of the way the lore of Numenor has been set up. And then finally, I think everything with the elves, we finally get to see more of the elves interacting amongst themselves, and just some really, really fun scenes. I think Robert Armayo as Elrond. I think he just, it feels like he's a very sympathetic character to me, because it feels like he's always like in the middle of it, like just he's the one that everyone kind of turns to help them out with the problems, or he always wants to help out with their problems. So that's really really interesting. And then of course we have Morfydd Clark as Galadriel, who I feel like it's really our protagonist in this show, which I love her performance. I really just love that even though she has her own ways about her, she has so much to learn. And I think that this character evolving into the character that we know from the movies, um, all the stuff also has been set up for that, right? Because I think the characters are very different, but it feels like this is the Galadriel that Middle Earth needed at this time. Whereas in the future, she has to be different. So really good stuff. I love it. I love seeing it. Like once again, the visuals are amazing in the show. I know I praise them every week, but it's because that's how great they look. Um, and the music, there's a score at the end of the episode. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I don't know if it's a new song composed for this, or if it's just maybe something that was kind of remastered. You guys let me know. It's the song that plays as we roll into the credits. So yeah, very excited for that. I do feel like I know. I mean, at least as far as the canon lore that this show has set up, because I believe this is all supposed to be connected to the movies. I do feel like I know a little bit more. I feel more of a Lord of the Rings fan than I have in the past, which is a cool thing about following a weekly show, right? I've spent 8 weeks of my life in this show, thinking about it, talking about it, seeing reactions about it, and in a time where we have so much to watch is really really cool. So really like this. Great first season. I highly recommend you check it out. I think if you're one of the people that were worried about the pacing of the show being too slow, now is your time. You can watch all 8 episodes. Just spend the weekend in Middle Earth, and just go to town there. So as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And stay tuned because we have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone.